The best station on the net. This is 99.9 FM, your community radio station. Local radio by local people. 24/7.
This is MMU Radio News.
Good evening, I am Movin Odhiambo and this is MMU Radio News Bulletin. This evening, destruction caused by floods, fuel strike and Arsenal wins a trophy of the Premier League. Tune in for more. Fuel strike suspended after talks. A planned nationwide fuel strike has been suspended following talks between government officials and fuel sector representatives earlier today. The strike had raised fears of fuel shortages and transport disruption across the country. Both sides agreed to continue negotiations over fuel pricing and supply concerns.
The strike has been suspended. That is what I want our Kenyan citizen to hear. And since we have a nation to build and a government to run, Kenya is ours and we should build it.
Industry players say rising operational costs remain a major challenge, while the government insists reforms are necessary to stabilize energy sector. Floods, destruction in parts of the country. Residents across several parts of Kenya continue to count losses following heavy rains and flash floods that have affected homes, roads, and businesses. Authorities say the floods have displaced families and disrupted transport in some regions. Several roads remain waterlogged, making transport difficult for motorists and pedestrians.
I've also announced here that the 40,000 families that have been relocated, the 40,000 households, each household we are going to provide for them 10,000 shillings for alternative settlement until the government comes up with a comprehensive plan.
Emergency teams have been deployed to assist affected residents as officials urge people living in flood-prone areas to move to safer grounds. Child drowns while swimming at Mombasa Beach. A family in Mombasa is mourning after a 10-year-old boy drowned while swimming at a public beach yesterday evening. Witnesses say the child was swept away by strong ocean current as he played with friends near the shoreline. Rescue team together with local fishermen recovered the body several minutes later before it was taken to Coast General Hospital mortuary.
Alikuwa maji alikuwa makali sana, lakini tulikuwa ustamilifu na uwezo wa Mwenyezi Mungu tukafanya bidii mpaka time saa 10 ndo kafanya bidii na ile tupa alikuwa gesi imeisha baki 70 tu. Sasa nikabidi nichee mawe angalau takimwona yule kijana ile mawe nipeleke chini halafu nikitaka kutoka nitoke kwa pumzi za na Mungu jalia imebakia 20. Mungu akanijalia huko.
Police have urged parents to closely monitor children visiting beaches. Daily market pulse. The Central Bank of Kenya reports that foreign exchange reserves remain stable, helping support the Kenyan shillings against major international currencies. Economists, however, warn the rising global oil prices could still increase pressure on local fuel and transport costs. Elsewhere, business leaders are welcoming ongoing reforms at the port of Mombasa aimed at reducing congestion and improving cargo clearance efficiency. The changes are expected to boost regional trade and lower operational costs for both importers and exporters. Global executions reach highest level in 44 years. A deeply troubling report by Amnesty International reveals global executions in 2025 soared to the highest level in 44 years. The sharp rise is largely driven by nations in the Middle East and Asia. Amnesty notes that many of those executed minorities or convicted in unfair trials. The organization is now urging the United Nations to call an emergency session to address this dangerous retreat from human rights. While several governments defend the death penalty as a crime deterrent, advocates say this must serve as a global wake-up call. Parliamentary clash. A heated debate has erupted in Parliament over the 2026 finance bill, with opposition lawmakers accusing the government of overburdening struggling Kenyans.
Nipigeni kelele, nipigeni kelele, mimi sijali, nitawaambieni ukweli, Wakenya wanahangaika. Mmekuja hapa, mmelipwa pesa, mmepewa pesa nyingi kuja kuwa Wakenya katika bunge hili.
The bill proposes tax adjustments on digital services, fuel and imports measures the Treasury insists are necessary to boost revenue and cut national debt. However, opposing MPs argue it will spike the cost of living, prompting a walkout today to demand wider public consultations.
Hata cooking stove ya kupikia wameongeza 3%. Wameongeza 3%. Naangalia motorcycle, Mheshimiwa Spika, wale wa mabodaboda ambao walipromisiwa mambo itakuwa shwari, tutatenga, tutafanya hivi, bodaboda wameongezewa 3%.
Treasury officials maintain their taxes are vital for public services and development. Analysts warn the debate could trigger fresh political tensions as the bill faces further scrutiny in the coming weeks. Teacher strike threat. Teachers under the Kenyan National Union of Teachers are threatening to go on a strike if the government fails to address their salary grievances by end of the month. Peter Maunda reports. County hospitals drug shortage. Patients at several county hospitals in Western Kenya are going without essential medicines due to procurement delays at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority. Land evictions. Hundreds of families have been evicted from government riparian land reserve in Nakuru County after a court order was enforced. Ghana's glory. Celebrations have taken over North London as Arsenal are officially crowned the 2025-2026 Premier League champions, ending an agonizing 22-year wait for the top flight title. Mikel Arteta sealed the championship with a game to spare following their hard-fought 1-0 victory over Burnley at the Emirates and a subsequent 1-1 draw between rivals Manchester City and Bournemouth. Thousands of ecstatic fans gathered outside the stadium alongside players to mark the historic coronation, which breaks a streak of 3 consecutive runner-up finishes from the Gunners. Arsenal will formally lift the trophy this Sunday after their final match against Crystal Palace. And that's the latest news this evening. For more updates, stay tuned to MMU Radio. I am Movin Odhiambo. Have a pleasant evening.